up, besties? It's your girl, Elaine Michelle, and I'm back with episode 4 of the Financial Literacy Month series. This is a collab between my girl Shay Budgets and myself, and I am enjoying this month just getting a chance to share the things that we've learned and the things that we've implemented, things that we like, don't like, all of that good stuff. So if you guys have not seen the other videos in the series, make sure you go back and watch the playlist, as well as, again, check out the videos that Shay's put out too, because, I mean, we put out very similar content, but both have our own ways of doing things, and that's what I think makes this whole partnership and everything great, because we are still individuals, but we come together for the greater good of budgeting and knowing finances and all of that stuff. So today's episode, we're going to be focusing on how to do a monthly budget, and I think that this is a very key and important part of getting your finances in order. If you don't really know where your money is supposed to go, when it's going there, why it's going there, then more than likely you'll be living from paycheck to paycheck, because you'll always be behind and struggling. So this is just a way to plan your finances out on a monthly basis, and then you can break it down however you need to. But having that monthly overview is really, really important. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the monthly budget. All right, so everyone has their different methods of keeping up with their monthly budget. Let me show you guys my original way of doing my budget. I was actually in a Happy Planner when I first started, but then I moved to this Erin Condren, this really big planner. This is like a regular size Erin Condren planner, and I have it in the monthly deluxe version. So what I love a lot about this particular format is that they have the monthly, and then I can go in and have my whatever I want to put in here. So I can use my income, I can have my expenses, all of that here, do it by paycheck to paycheck. I can go in and do my sinking funds and my cash envelopes. I can write everything down that I need to have. So essentially this is just a calendar with notebook pages. So if you can find a calendar, or you can create one off of your computer and just make a big wide calendar. You want a calendar at the front so that you can write down all of the things, because writing them down and seeing them actually helps you put things into frame. And not only do you just write your expenses down, you want to write down when you're getting paid as well, any sort of income coming in, so that you're able to look and see, okay, well, on the 15th I have this coming in, and then I have this going out. Okay, my next paycheck is on the 31st, so between the 15th and the 31st I have this amount of bills that I need to pay for within that one paycheck before I get paid. So those are the things I need to take care of in the meantime. So that's why I really recommend having some sort of calendar, because it's good for you to write it down, but it also is good for a visual, just to see how everything goes and where you need to place things in the event you need to change a bill due date or something like that, because you're seeing that, okay, yeah, I'm getting paid on the 15th, but by the end of the 15th I'm not going to have as much money as I thought. I need to switch some of these bills around. This is a great way to see that, especially if you change a job, or you change they change your pay frequency, whatever the case is. This is a really good way to see it. So that is why I absolutely love using the calendar portion and then using the notebook portion. So you definitely could create your own calendar if you wanted to, but I recommend the Erin Condrens because they are, I mean, this is my thing. I think they're easy to use and they are quite affordable. I have a link down below for $10 off if you've never purchased from Erin Condren before, and you'll get $10 off them. And I believe some of them are actually on sale currently at the moment before they get ready to drop those new ones that are coming out. So you can go ahead and get in on one that's dated. And then if you are just wanting to try something out, I have an even better option for you. This is the one that I use currently. I am in the Erin Condren Petite Monthly Planner. Now I use this inside of my Foxy Fix, which is my everyday carry type of planner, and I love it. It gives me everything I need right here in one. So this is basically a condensed down version of the big one, of this one that I just showed you guys. So let me get into it a little bit more and show you here. This is how I use it. So at the front of this one, it has where you can add anything to your calendar. So I like this because, again, I see my paydays, I see important things are due, anything, notes or anything that I need to write in here. I can do my starting balance, my credit score, all of that stuff down here. I can write wherever I need it to go, and I can do that from month over month. All right, so this one just goes from the monthlies, and then it goes back to the sections back here, which has the notes sections. So let me just show you kind of what a notes section would look like. It'd be like this. So you have the ability to write anything that you want to literally inside of here. You can plan it out and do whatever you need to in here, and I really love it. So what you guys are noticing is that I have stickers. These stickers are made from Shea Budget shop, and I absolutely love them. I love them because it gives me something to look at, and it also makes me feel like I'm doing something a little bit more. So when I feel like I'm actually putting in a little bit more effort to it, I do a double check and keep looking at it consistently. That's my thing. I love something pretty. So I don't know if you like something pretty, but I have found that for me, decorating and putting the stickers in, it has really helped me to be able to just kind of see where everything is and to actually look at it again and not just set it and forget it. Because a lot of times we get comfortable in our budgets because we've memorized them. We know when things are getting paid and blah blah, and I have become subject to that as well, where I just get comfortable and then I'll miss something because things happen. You get busy, or you think it's one date and it's not really that date. So this has come in handy with the petite planner and using my stickers. All right, so basically, let's go into how I would even get started with this. And I was going to go ahead and start doing my May budget, but I don't have everything quite ready for that. I'm gonna go ahead and do another video for that. So for this one, let's just try doing a kind of mock budget of what I would do if I didn't have my petite planner, or if I had my petite planner but I didn't have everything together. So the very first thing, you probably would want to just grab a piece of scratch paper. So on the paper, you're going to want to write what month it is, and let's make sure we have a good writing pen because that's also important. And I thought I had, okay, my pen over here missing. No worries, we Gucci fi Gucci over here. Okay, we Gucci, we gonna make it. All right, so here is we're gonna do for the month of May in 2019. So the first things that you want to write down are going to be your income, because you need to know how much money is coming in. So you want to do your income for the whole entire month. So if you are not salaried, that's fine. You can kind of gauge what your normal hours are. But I always tell people, if you're guaranteed to get a certain amount of hours every week, okay, before you get any bonus hours or anything like that, you want to focus on what your guaranteed pay is. So I'm guaranteed, like when I was hourly, I was guaranteed to get 40 hours a week. Now anything I went over was extra. It would be time and a half, but I'm only going to account for what I am guaranteed to get. So since I'm salaried, I do my 2 paychecks together, which that's 2010 plus 2010, which puts me at 40-20 for the month. But again, if you guys were doing it where you are hourly, you would just add up however much you make hourly, and then you can do what you normally would bring home minus your taxes. Now here we do 0.21% to get that tax break off of there, and that'll give you a good percentage of what you could be working with. But always be careful with that. Be mindful. There are several different apps and things like that that you can go in and type in your state and all of that and use that. So just be mindful of that. You don't want to account for your gross, because your gross has not taken out your insurance or the fees that come out, whatever comes out of your paycheck directly. You want to make sure that you are accounting for that as well. So using your income, just make sure you're being mindful of the things that have to come out of it directly. So make sure you're not using your gross and you're using your net. All right, so if you know what your income is, you know your income is for, mine, like I said, is $4,020. And if I have any other income, I can also mark that. So this would be my extra income, and you can write where it comes from as well. Anything that's going to come in extra, if you have any child support, if you have any payments from a property or something like that, anything that is coming in that does not include your normal work salary, you're going to want to put here. This, for instance, could be, that it's your birthday month and people are going to be sending you money, and that money is going to be used for bills or whatever. You can leave that open and then just insert that in towards the end. All right, so we'll put our extra income here, and this for me would be my online businesses. Okay, however much I think that I'm going to make for that particular month. All right, so once we get there, we finish that, then we want to put in our expenses. Okay, Now these are the things that are, for me, I always make sure that I pay the ones that are my fixed expenses. So these ones are not going to change. They're not going anywhere. They're always going to be the same every single time. I know I'm going to have to pay this particular bill. It's going to be there always, okay? So you always want to start with your first, with your 4 walls. Now, I don't know how you, particularly have them set up, but you can set them up however it makes sense for you. But I like to do mine with starting with my 4 walls because those are the most important ones that I need to take care of. If anything happens to me, I need to make sure these items are taken care of first. So those are going to be your rent or your mortgage. Okay, you want to make sure you take care of electricity and any sort of like car note. I consider that to be your 4 walls. If you have, if your electricity and your gas and stuff like that is separate, you want to make sure you pay all those, your water, all of that stuff. Mine in particular is rolled into my is rolled into my rent for the water. And the electricity does include the gas. So that's how it works here in Memphis. So I really don't have to worry about that. And then I also make sure I take care of my car note because I do not want my car, you know, you don't want you to let your car get repossessed or nothing because you're behind in your payments. You want to make sure you take care of all of those. All right, and then so we'll go into the remaining of my expenses. Now I have insurance. Okay, and this insurance is not health insurance. My health insurance comes directly from my paycheck, so I never see that coming in. I never have to physically pay that, so I don't even worry about listing it here because I know that's already getting paid. Now, if you do have to pay for your own health insurance, you want to bring that down and put it down here and not include it in your income part. Just something you might want to be mindful of because you're actually physically having to pay it out, and you want to make sure that you have that noted here for you to pay. All right, so then we have insurance that has to be paid the first of the month. I also have a student loan. And I have 2 student loans. So for this one, I'm going to put student loans, and I'm just going to group them all together. You can separate them as you do your paycheck to paycheck, but for your overall monthly view, you want to make sure you capture everything as one. All right, and then we have our iTunes, and I tell you what, let's just write these down and then we'll go over and see which ones are fixed and which ones are variable. And we have Zips, car wash, and then we have a YouTube TV. Okay, and we have iTunes number 2. Now you're probably wondering why I don't write iTunes number 2 and number 1 together, and I do that because they are 2 separate bills, but they're still from iTunes, if that makes sense. So because they are 2 separate bills, I want to make sure I keep them separate because they do kind of fluctuate from time to time, and so I want to make sure I keep those separated, and that way I know, you know, when they're going to come out, because again, they are separated. All right, so we have iTunes number 2, then we have our phone bill, and then we have electric. Oh, I already have electric up there. Xfinity. Ooh, that's gonna be ugly. Okay, Xfinity, and then we have Netflix. Okay, so right now, these are all of my expenses that I would be expected to pay every single month regardless. Like, these are things that have my name on it and that I need. Now, the ones that are going to be like the most important are going to be my rent, making sure I pay my electricity, and my car note, which is why they're listed up there. My insurance as well. Now, let me say this, like, all of these are very much so important, but I find it easier that you can work with different things when you make sure your 4 walls are already taken care of. Those are the ones you don't want to get behind on that will really affect you. So if you get evicted, then boom, that affects your credit, that affects your history of being able to go and get another place, anything like that. You want to be in good standing with that. You want to be in good standing with your electricity company, because if you get behind, they'll cut your lights off, and then boom, not only are your lights off, you are unable to do the things that you need to do, especially if you have kids and you have food in the refrigerator. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a constant trickling thing. It like trickles over. So you just want to make sure that you take care of those 4 walls, and I cannot stress that enough. All right, so going down here, I'm just going to mark again kind of the ones. Most of these are actually going to be on auto pay, except for this one and this one. Netflix is on auto pay. This one is Xfinity is not, and my phone bill is not, and YouTube TV is, and my student loans are, my insurance is, iTunes the same way. So those ones are pretty much on auto pay as well. Now, some other expenses that you might want to include down here, and these are what I call the variable expenses. These ones are going to be like your credit cards and things like that. Any sort of outside bills that you need to take care of, a medical bill, those vary because you won't necessarily have them all the time, but you may have them to slip in every once in a while. So if you have anything like that, any medical bills or anything like that would come down here. You would list those next. I, for instance, don't have any, but I will put that down here. So if we have any medical coming up, or like, and you can even use this because you know you have a doctor's appointment coming. So like in June, I know I have my follow-up doctor's appointment for my dermatologist. So because of that, I'm going to make sure that I put that into my budget. So I know that I need to put aside $35 for my copay to be able to handle that. I also need to make sure that in June, because my son is getting some shots, I need to mark that down for him because we'll have a copay there. Those are things to be mindful of as you're creating your budget. So for medical this month, we're going to have 0 here. Any credit cards, we don't have any credit cards, so we're just going to leave that blank. But if you did, you can individually list them or list them all as one. It just depends on how you want to set up your monthly budget. You can put your due dates over here. Okay, and that just lets you know where everything needs to go. And then you would take that here. Okay, so let me just stay over here for a second. So you'll put your due dates over here, and then you can put your amount if you want to. Let's see, we have enough room. So here, ignore my lines, and we'll just put a dollar amount here and the due date. Okay, now you can use this piece of paper and let this be your budget. Like if you have a notebook and this is where you want to go, you can literally stop here. It's all about what's comfortable for you and what makes sense for how you want to do it. You can definitely just stop here, writing in the total amounts, and then you write in your due dates and be done with it. And then even make like maybe a little check mark box over here to say that it's paid. You know, once you've paid it, you check it off and you're done with it, and you add that in there. So now once you've created all of this here, you have everything that you need on here, you're going to want to have something down here that says remaining. Well, let me focus on something else really quick here. Okay, so we'll have these, we'll put those there, and I have big handwriting, so ignore me. And I do cash envelopes in my sinking funds. So you may not do those particular systems. So down here, you'll be writing like your groceries, you will be writing down any gas that you would need to spend. All of that stuff will be listed down here on the expenses part because that is a part of your expenses. So you would do, for me, I would do cash envelopes, however much I'm putting in my cash envelopes, and then my sinking funds. Okay. So now we have those two listed down there. And those are your due dates, you know, however much you want to put on there and whatnot. So let's go ahead and go on to the other side of the page. So you would use this. This has all of your bills on here. Now you can go to the back and you can do your remaining. Your remaining balance. Okay, so you put that there, and then I'm gonna give you, like, you know, your little formula. So you have your total expenses. Okay, this is here, and then you're gonna subtract or your total income. Okay, and you put that there, and that's going to give you your amount here. This will be your remaining balance. Now, I do this because I want to make sure what I have is adding up. So I do my total expenses, and then you subtract that from your total income, whatever that could be. And you set it up like that. You put your remaining balance and just list it up there. Now you can break your remaining balance down. You can either have done it on the other side, like if you don't necessarily do cash envelopes or anything like that, this is where you would break down and add your groceries in here. So you would do your groceries from what's left over. You would do your gas from what's left over, any sort of like medicine, if you have any personal care, you would put all of those items down here, and then you can go and you can do another remaining balance of what you have from what you started out with doing from your remaining balance, if that makes sense. So you would put that there, and then you would just add all that stuff up, and then anything left over you could use for savings. If you've not been caught up on a bill, you can get caught up on a bill, add it to a credit card for your debt snowball, whatever is remaining. That's how you would do it. If you're working on your baby step number 1, which is saving $1,000 or $500 depending on your income, then this would be the way that you would get started. So what I always look at within my groceries, gas, medicine, personal care, anything like that, where can I decrease my money? Like, where can I decrease that expense and make it something that means just a little bit more to me that I can use it for? Because I may not necessarily need to buy $150 worth of groceries in a particular week. Maybe I can bring it down. Okay, so for the month, my normal is $300, but maybe one week that 150 can be lowered to 75. I can take that other 75 and apply it to a bill so that I can get further ahead, and that makes more sense than spending money on groceries you don't need, or saying, oh, I got this leftover grocery money, I'm finna go do this. But if you plan it out and write it out, then you'll be able to see where you want your money to go. Now, another thing I like to do is also write out my goals. So if for this month I want to save at least $200, then I put that. I want to save $200. And that lets me know somehow, some way, I want to save my money somewhere. And that gives me an idea of where I want my money to go. The best way to do a budget is giving your every single dollar a home. Even if that home is saying, I'm going to take whatever is remaining and put it into my savings account, that is still giving everything a home, okay? So that is something to be mindful of. Okay, so since you've given everything a home, now you just have to make sure that everything adds up and that it's where it needs to be. And this, again, this costs nothing. This is a piece of printer paper that I just used and wrote down everything where I wanted it to be. You can add some highlighters to say, okay, well, this is my 4 walls. I need to make sure that these are always taken care of. And then you can mark the ones that are variable. If you have any cash envelopes or whatever, you've just done your budget right here. So now you want to make things so that they're visible to you and you have them where you need them, and that is where this planner comes in. And this petite planner is all of like $12, and it has a little pocket in the back for little notes and such, and this is just me needing to put those into my cash envelopes. But you can literally do anything you want to with this, and you can do that what we just did on a piece of paper. You can put it directly in here and have it with you all the time, and then you would just go back and refer to it. Okay, well, I have this much money and I'm doing this much with it, and this is how I want to move and how I want to make it go. It's all based on your preference and how you like to do things. So yeah, I hope I've showed you guys how to do a monthly budget. You can stay tuned to my channel. In the next probably day or so, I'll put up my actual budget. I was gonna get into it here. I was like, no, this is just doing a whole lot. So I'll get into mine and I'll show you how I set up my monthly budget if you want to see May in particular. But if you're just interested in seeing how I do my budgets, I have tons of them available on my channel for you to look at. I have them from the beginning when I first started, the process that I was using all the way up until April, which is right now, of what I actually did. So you can see how I've moved and how I've grown and the things I've changed that have actually worked for me in my process of budgeting. So I hope this was helpful. Make sure you guys go check out Shay Budget's video and see how she sets up her monthly budget and the things that she does. I would love to hear, you know, your stories down below in the comment section. I mean, it's awesome like that. Don't forget, the Budget Misses are going on tour. We are currently going to New York, and that's on May the 18th, and then you will find us in Houston, so stay tuned for getting all that information. But all of the tickets and all of that are available on ElaineMichelle.com or on ShayBudgets.com if you're interested in attending any of our workshops. Definitely make sure you go to those links and secure your ticket, because you don't want to miss out on this hands-on, this interactive, like just being in the atmosphere with people who really are right there with you in your journey, like someone else who they may have already done it, or maybe they haven't even started, but everybody is there for the common goal, and that's to better ourselves and get where we want to get. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are enjoying this series. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and as always, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any more of my videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Mwah! KK, bye!